Hello, you guys. Here's my review for Vikings Season 2, Episode 8, entitled Boneless. So, a lot of things happen in this episode. We have the birth of Ivar the Boneless, who is one of the most legendary, Viking figures of all time, who was the king of Ireland and Dublin. But yeah, going on with this episode, the episode begins with Aslog giving birth to Ivar. And the birth was very painful. You could just tell through the montages and just the agony she was in. At one point, Aslog just straight up passed out. You know, she just straight up passed out. And you had Siggy pretty much telling her that she's in the middle of a field and her boys are to the left and the lights on the right and just to go towards the boys, whatever. So, the pregnancy, I swear to God, probably lasted several hours. But yeah, you just tell, just so gruesome and ugh, right? So, she finally gives birth to Ivar. And the next scene after that, you have Lagertha's scene with Horik, Bjorn, and I believe Erlander. So Horik's asking Lagertha, how long would it take for your shits to be done? And Lagertha says, I have to go back, I don't know. And he keeps on asking the same old question. And Bjorn's like, all right, dude, shut the fuck up. It'll be done when it needs, the shits will be done and completed when they need to be done and completed. When they can. Nothing more, nothing less, So after that, you have Bjorn's girlfriend, whose name I forgot. I think it's Perun, something like that. But yeah, so she tells everybody that Ragnar had another son. So yeah, after that, you have Lagtha asking the Bjorn's girlfriend, who is she to her son, and Bjorn says, she's my servant girl, and I love her and all that stuff. So sentimental shit. Well, the only sentimental shit in this episode, besides one other, that comes to mind. But yeah, besides that, we have Ragnar with a real inner conflict and struggle in this episode. Ivar, it has brittle bones, and, it's kind of like a disability, especially in that time and culture. Ragnar tries to tell Aslog, he won't have a really good life, due to the deformity. He'll be destroyed by little pigs and wolves and all that stuff. And Aslog's like, yeah, sure, I know he has all these things, but, I'm his mother. I gave birth to him, and I don't want him to die or whatever. So you have Ragnar pretty much, at the next scene, in the boat. And that's one thing I love about Travis Fillmore in these episodes. You can always he has such an expressive face, especially with those, just those eyes, you could just, the emotions, that his eyes can just convey. It was just really, he did one of his best jobs, so far in the series. So you have him get baby Ivar while everyone's asleep. And you have him pretty much bring Ivar to a certain point, and he has the axe to his neck, and he says to Ivar, this is the best thing for you, my son. And then, next thing you know, he just looks at the baby again. And it's creepy because the baby's looking at Ragnar like, do what you gotta do, man. Or, you know what I mean? Them eyes and shit. So, Ragnar can't go through it. He can't kill his own child. And Aslog picks, baby Ivar up and shit. So, another thing which happens in this episode, we are introduced to Queen K. Queen Quinthrith. I'll get it. I'll do better at it by the next review. So, apparently, she is the new Queen of Mercia. And she is, in a way, her land is what Ayla and Egbert going to use, to split between them. Well, at least that's what they think. So, Queen Kay's apparently, just from the setup, she murdered her brother, who was the rightful heir of Mercia. And it seems like it's not just her. It seems like her whole family is literally murdering each other, just for the throne and all that shit. So yeah, so I digress. We go further into the episode. There's a dinner over Wessex. King Egbert speaking, all this stuff. You got King Egbert, his son, Athelstan, the fat ass priest, Judith, and all that stuff. So during this dinner, we have a few interesting things that's revealed about Queen K. Her brother wasn't as saintly as many people assumed he was or thought he was. He actually raped her when she was 12. That's fucked up right there. And, she just said it's nonchalantly. Well, yeah, he's a saint, apparently, but he fucking raped me as a 12-year-old, so, whatever. Another thing, she's a vegetarian. She apparently hates meat. And she goes on asking Athelstan about the Vikings and their culture, saying that they can make love to anyone they choose, pretty much, without any consequence and shit. And pretty much, it gets to the point that and whoever is the actress name, she does such a good job of just being such a sensual, sexual, like, but powerful, like, domineering, like, woman and force and shit, especially during those times. You know, even Allison's having a wet dream. Allison literally has like a little wet dream or a little, montage thing, which she literally grabs the motherfucker's, like, Christ, little chain, and literally makes out with him by force and shit. And he didn't even know how to react. He's like so like dumbfounded. She's like, "Oh, you bore me," So she had this interesting exchange with Ethelwolf, Egbert son, and she said she wouldn't mind, Ethelwolf entertaining her gates, which was a response to King Egbert saying that his son's gonna lead, help, gonna lead the army that's gonna help her, her Mercian army out with, maintaining the throne and all that stuff. So, yeah, so she also in this episode, she pretty much says that she knows that Egbert and Ayla pretty much are using her as a puppet, for them to kind of split her shit down the middle, if I remember correctly. What else happened in this episode besides that? Oh, she has a sex scene with King Egbert, and apparently she can go on and on. Because you just see the scene, the way it went, Egbert looks damn near dead. He's exhausted. He's like, get the fuck off me. I can't go anymore. It got to the point the dude had to leave. When he was leaving, he looked like he was having convulsions. Like, this dude just seen a ghost. He told his guards, just pleasure her, man. And he told four of them dudes. And him and her must have been went out for like hours. And then she tells the guards, don't be shy. And the guards are like, oh, fuck yeah. They dropped them pants and shit. Dropped the shields. It was on. So yeah, after that, Lagertha returns to Hedeby, and she tells the coward such Einar and her people that she's going to be raiding with King Horik and Earl Ragnar, quite soon, and the ships have to be completed. So a little bit after that, we have Lagertha returning back to Kattegat, and everyone pretty much preparing for, the return of Wessex and them to get their revenge for the last attack that happened, what I would assume would be 9 months ago. Because I'm pretty sure the last episode, when Yalbor got Blood Eagles, that was 9 months ago, because Aslog just got pregnant with Ivar not that long before. So, yeah, literally, in general. So, before, everyone leaves, Bjorn has a little moment with Perun, says he loves her. They have a little makeout session. Personally, I think he banged her. I think he did just by the expression on his face, like he lost his virginity. Another thing that happened, you had pretty much Ragnar and Aslog naming Ivar, with Aslog saying his name should be Ivar, will be not Ivar, and Ragnar's like the Boneless, So after that, the episode pretty much goes with them returning to Wessex. And another interesting about this episode, when they're on the boats, Ragnar mentions to both Thorstein and Lagertha that the seer told him that Athelstan is still alive. And you have King Horik pretty much trying to have Floki come back on his side, saying that he thinks a shipbuilder is worth more than 10 earls. God damn, King Horik is so obvious when he does shit. It's just, but yeah. So, seems like Floki's kind of taking the bait. But you never know with Floki. Floki's weird, but cool at the same time. So, yeah, the episode ends with Ragnar sending Thorstein to Egbert, letting him know that they're there, and that he wants to talk, all that stuff, with them. King Horik gets pissy and shit, saying, you will never ever do that again. Remember, I'm still king. You have Ethelwolf, coming, telling Ragnar Athelstan is good, he just wants to meet up with Ragnar and everyone wants peace and all that shit. Gives Ragnar the bracelet, which he gave Athelstan. But it turns out King Horik had the shit planned out in which all Ethelwolf's people were wiped out except for him. So yeah, that's my review of Vikings Season 2, Episode 8 entitled Boneless. Thank you guys for watching. Adios.